Hello, and thank you for giving us another opportunity to spend some time with you on Stairway to Health, brought to you by Health Experts Canada. We've got some great ideas, new information, and hopefully a few laughs for you today. Who knows, if you're not careful, you may learn something.
All right. Obviously, I'm Frank, and this is
Marilyn.
and we're here.
I think I'm here to remind you.
Yes, every once in a while, I need a reminder. Never. We are going to be talking about something, as I posted earlier today. There's this whole thing, just
movement.
Okay, that's a good word. Yeah, movement. There's this whole movement that is exploding on social media. It's exploding outside in the culture all around us, and it's called the Let Them movement. It's all based on something called the Let Them theory, and it was brought to everybody's attention, this phrase and this concept and this movement, by a famous podcaster. Her name is Mel Robbins. Now, as you pointed out to me, Mel's video podcast went viral with like over 14 million views.
Oh, it was ridiculous.
When she brought this whole concept to everybody's attention. And it's an interesting concept. It is truly an interesting concept. I must admit, I was not aware of it as much as you were. You kept seeing it everywhere.
Well, it wasn't so much talking about the podcast. It was more people selling T-shirts that said "Let Them" on it. And there's a particular logo that
I think I posted it inside the group for tonight's session
in calligraphy, script. Like a script, and it says "Let Them," and there is usually a heart, open heart, sort of childlike looking, being drawn either at the end of that or underneath. And there's a lot of T-shirts online, on Instagram, on Facebook, places like that. But the biggest thing is the examples of tattoos that people have designed for "Let Them."
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. And we know a lot of people that have actually got the tattoo.
But I thought, well, let me just see what, I was curious. What do they look like? So I very seldom, but I went on Pinterest, because everybody says if you want to look for something, go on Pinterest. So I did. And I went on Pinterest and I just put in for search, "Let Them tattoo." The thing came scrolling out like a roll of just constant. And one of them, just one simple person posted, they had 51 different designs. And I thought, okay, I have to pay more attention to what this is, because it was that's all it is. And it's usually the same script with the heart somewhere on it, but surrounded by flowers. Or one of them was kind of cool. It had the "Let Them" and a heart, but right after the M on the end of the M, it sort of flew up in the air and there was a bumblebee flying away. So like, let them be.
Let them be.
So there was all sorts of things. So if you've got nothing to do someday, you want to
jump down the rabbit hole that is Pinterest.
Yes, go Google it, and then they'll tell you to look on Pinterest, and then they'll tell you to look somewhere else. But it's a phenomenon. It's just amazing how much traction this got.
So I guess I want to clarify what this movement really is, what it's all about. So I guess this is how she described it, okay? And I'm going to read it because it's quoting Mel. When you let them do whatever it is that they want to do, it creates more control and emotional peace for you and a better relationship with the people in your life. So my question is that concept true? I guess what she's getting at is, what are some of the examples? If somebody doesn't invite you to a dinner party, let them. Let them what? Let them not invite you?
Yes.
And just, let them be, let them do their thing, let them whatever.
But I think you have to understand too that she was talking about this whole her whole podcast was talking about how we react emotionally to situations in our lives. It's not like if somebody wants to come in your driveway and take your car, let them. That's not, it's not that kind of thing. It is because mental health issues are so
Rampant.
rampant, I guess.
Yeah.
And there was a statement, I guess, some sort of research done that 1 in 3 or something people who were suffering from mental health issues, the root cause of that was the person with the mental health issues. They were worrying about what other people thought
Did.
or did, not physically, not that, but emotionally. So this was an emotional thing. So what her whole thing was, and she used the example, if somebody's having a Sunday brunch and they're inviting people over and you weren't included on that list, then let them not include you. Don't start to make that your day long obsession
Right.
of. Now, I think that's very difficult to do because I know that I'm not the only one in this world who has had a situation where, let's say you're out in a shopping mall and you see somebody who you know, not your best friend, not, relatives, but you see somebody and maybe it's a neighbor or something, and you smile, sort of stop and say, "Hi, how are you doing?" And they said, "Great, thank you," and keep going. And there you are standing in the middle of the mall,
What did
sort
I
of, yeah,
do?
exactly. See, that's the first knee jerk. And that's what Mel was saying. To get out of that mindset that because I've walked away going, what did I do? When was the last time I spoke to her? What were we talking about? Did I offend her? Or did I
Right.
say something? Or you know what? When I said something to so and so, did they tell her that I said? And your whole thing just gets in your head.
Well, it's interesting because one of our members inside the group commented on the post for tonight's broadcast, and she said how it's difficult to do, but it's very freeing, right?
Oh, it
And
is.
and I understood definitely that concept because I speak an awful lot with our clients about the scarcity mindset. And I mean, you and I developed an entire mindset program
Mhm.
to help our one-on-one clients through our State of Shock Success program. And part of that whole program is escaping the scarcity mindset and putting more of the personal emphasis, responsibility on yourself. So, I mean, really, what it is it's about not wasting time,
Mhm.
putting too much effort and forcing other people to match our expectations.
Well, that's exactly what we do because we have
We have a thought.
expectations of what other people should do, either for us, to us, with us.
Mhm.
And it's like I have my dearest friend for like 30 years. And I remember she was the first person I ever encountered who, when I would say, "Hey, you know what? Friday night, I'm going to get a bottle of wine. We'll make some popcorn and let's watch a movie." And she would look at me lovingly and say, "Oh, no, but thank you," and walk away. And she never felt compelled to give me a reason. Like, make something up for God's sake. Oh, I
Yeah.
got a doctor's appointment or I've got to take my kids somewhere or that. But she never did.
But
And
again, that's you living in your own head of your expectations,
I
what you want, what
expected
you.
her to
Mhm.
come to my house Friday night because I had decided that's what we were doing. And when she thought about it, and you could tell she thought about it for a moment and then said, "Oh, yeah, no, no, but thank you,"
But thank you anyway.
and walked away. I think that's where this whole thing sort of developed was the let them if they don't want to do it, then
Let them be themselves.
just let them be them. And if you do that, you free up all this time that I wasted going, why didn't she want to come over? Was she upset with me? Did I say something?
Okay. So it's interesting because what it really boils down to is letting other people do their thing, right? It does not then mean allowing them to treat you poorly,
Oh, no,
right?
no.
It doesn't mean to allow people to treat you badly. It means observing what they are doing, how they are doing it, and why they might be doing it. And then there was another professor, I think, that responded to this whole concept, and he says, it means asking yourself what it is you need, what you think, and how you will need to advocate for yourself depending on what the situation is. So I guess it puts me in mind of something like this, right? Scarcity mindset is constantly feeling like you're missing out, right? That whole fear of missing out, FOMO,
FOMO.
this idea that maybe you're lacking something, which is why then other people may be treating you a specific way, right? And it really gets you caught up in your head. And the reality is, you have to learn to be more comfortable with yourself. You have to be more resilient with yourself. You have to learn to be more responsible for yourself. And if somebody doesn't invite you, what it means is fine, that's okay. Let them do their thing. That just means that I have more time now to do exactly what I want to do. So if that means calling up a friend who I haven't gotten together with and we've been meaning to get together, and maybe we can get together now, that's great. Whether it means going out for a walk by myself because I love being in nature, I mean, that's great. So it really is about not letting that negativity of you not being invited to something or being a part of something. I mean, there's many other
The other
ways to
thing,
look
yeah,
at this.
this is not just an invitation
No,
kind of thing,
but it's about how people treat you.
because part of this whole theory, there have been people who have now at university and beyond levels sort of jumped on the bandwagon. And there was a man whose name is Scott Stable. And his quote about this whole thing was, let them judge you, let them misunderstand you, let them gossip about you. Their opinions are not your problem. You stay kind, committed to love, and free in your own authenticity. No matter what they do or say, don't you dare doubt your worth or the beauty of your truth. Just keep shining like you always do. That's
Exactly
what
my
it,
point.
yeah, that's what the let them. If they're going to talk about you, if they're going to,
You're not going to change them.
no, and you shouldn't be searching to other people for your validation
Right.
of who you are
Right.
and what you are. You should be content in
Content,
yourself that,
confident.
I mean, it's like I remember, I laugh again. I go back to things that people have said to me because I remember them throughout my life. And I asked somebody if they had been invited to a party of some sort. And I had been invited, not particularly happy about having to go, but I said, are you going? Were you invited? And she said, no. She was very upset. And I said, well, I don't know that it's a big deal. She goes, well, I wouldn't have gone, but I'm angry that I wasn't invited.
Yeah.
And I'll never forget that.
There's time well spent,
Yes, and
right?
she worked herself up into this frazzled state because she wasn't invited to something that had she been invited, she wasn't going to go, but she just wasn't invited. So, I mean, I think this whole thing came to be, you
I
know.
don't think it's a new movement.
Oh, it's not.
I
It's
think,
not at all.
no, I think really what it's designed to do is maybe bring back some awareness of the fact that, um, letting it, wasn't there a very famous song that many of us in our age bracket should probably remember? I think it went something like "Let It Be,"
Oh yeah, John
right?
Lennon would
I
have been
mean,
proud.
really, like the concept is not new. It's kind of old, but
But in that case,
within boundaries,
yeah, but see, in
right?
that case, it was something about, you know, politically speaking and that.
But even
This whole thing, though, is an internal. It's an internal of how you live your life and worrying
right.
about what somebody else said. There was somebody who I don't remember who, I don't remember the famous person, but they said that what other people think about you is none of your business.
I love that.
I do too.
I
And And it's true though. We spend so much time and upset and the voices in your head
Mhm.
that talk to you about what they said and or somebody will say, "Oh yeah, so and so and I were just talking about you the other day." Immediately you want to know what were you saying or what were you talking about or
Yeah.
what, and it's always something that really your answer should be, "Oh, that's nice."
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
exactly. Oh, that's nice. I mean, it's very difficult for people. I think where the difficulty lies is in building and achieving a level of self-confidence and self-resilience to the point that these other things don't matter. We run across this all the time with clients. Their parents, with kids, or they're looking after loved ones, or they're involved in a circle of friends who have very strong opinions about world problems and things that are going on all around us. And the thing is, everybody's out there saying things and doing things to instill a reaction, right? I mean, doesn't matter who and what it is. It's all about getting a reaction. If you're protesting something, it's because you want your voice to be heard and you want to get a response or
Mhm,
cause a reaction to what it is you're protesting. The reality is if you agree with the protest or disagree with the protest, it's irrelevant.
mhm.
They're doing what they need to do. They're doing what they feel is absolutely necessary. And even if it's something that you don't agree with, you don't have to waste all your time, all your energy, all your money in things that you cannot control. There are only things within your level of control, and that's how you respond to things.
But it's also interesting to note that people tend to want to control not what other people are doing, like not if they're buying a house or buying a car, that kind of physical thing. But we tend to want to control other people's emotions. If we're excited about something, then we want them to be excited about it
Right.
too. And if they're not, you always do oh, I thought you'd be happier to hear that I got tickets too.
I'm to blame for it. I am. I'm to blame for that exact thing. I mean, there are things that I think are fantastic. I'm all hyped up and excited about it. I go to you or I go to somebody else and I'm like, look, listen to what happened and I can't believe how great this was and what a successful outcome about. And you're like, oh, that's nice.
Mhm. But you see, I have to then let you
Oh.
be happy and jump all around and be excited about something, without getting into some sort of thing in my head where, say, "Oh my God, he's so stupid. Why is that so important?" Well, it is. It's important. Let it be important to him and move on. You shouldn't be wasting time and energy. And
Right.
it does take a lot of energy out of people who try and rewrite the present and the past and sort of chart the future. And then people don't play their roles. And then what have you got to do? You've got to rewrite the play all over again.
Yeah.
So the let them is, like I said at the beginning, not something that your kid doesn't want to go to school today. Oh, let them. That's fine.
No,
You
there's
know,
boundaries to
there's
this.
boundaries. It's not a physical going against rules and laws and regulations. It is about yourself. And it's about
You're
allowing yourself to just let it go.
let go.
Let it
Yes.
let it be, let them, let because I think that we go so far nowadays, especially on social media and the bullying and the nasty
Hmm.
things. I mean, I belong to groups of from cities, like local groups, and people
Sure.
post pictures of,
Local community
yeah,
groups.
sunrises and sunsets, and somebody will post something, and sometimes the comments
Yeah.
that are posted on that. And I think to myself, the poor person who posted it, just it's a sunrise, for God's sake. It's
Yeah.
not a big deal. So I think that if we all just let them enjoy the sunrise.
Hmm.
Or as my grandmother used to say, if you've got nothing nice to say, don't say anything.
Right.
But just let them do them and try not to take it personally. And that's what, like when our friend said, this is a great idea, but it's really difficult. It's because we all, and I think we all, no matter who we
All of
are,
us.
take things emotionally, personally.
Right.
That's our knee jerk.
But it's a time, it is, I firmly and truly believe it's a time waster. Not that anybody should discredit how anyone else is feeling. That's not what this is
Oh,
about.
no, not at all.
How you feel. It's more about learning, like I said, to take that personal self level of control, confidence, resilience within yourself. It's really about looking deeper within yourself to understand what truly matters. And what truly matters is your self-worth, your self-love, your self-care, because you can't rely on other people giving you that. You can't rely on being able to control how other people think, feel, act, behave. It's outside of your control. The only thing you can't control is you.
But that's why it's hard. That's
It's
why
why
it's
it's very
hard.
hard.
And a lot of us do things and we want people to act in a certain way or respond to our gestures or something in a certain way. Because if they do, then we know that they're happy and that they're respond. That might not be how they react. I mean, that might not be how they show their appreciation.
No.
And so many of us spend so much time going over. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but sometimes, quite often, at 3 a.m., I wake up and think, oh, I've got to go back to sleep. And it's not that I'm not tired, it's just that it's 3 a.m. and I'm awake. And at that time, at 3 a.m., when there's nothing going on, all of a sudden in my head, I'm going through a conversation with somebody that I had the day before or 2 days ago, and or a situation where I'm saying, I text her and she never texts me back. I don't know why she didn't text me back. Like, maybe I should get my phone and see exactly what I said, because maybe it could have been taken the wrong way.
Yeah.
And this is at 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm going through my head trying to figure out why the person on the other end of the text didn't do what my expectation was
Yeah.
to respond to my text.
And the reality is, the further you dig into situations like that, where it seems very one-sided in terms of a friendship or a relationship.
Mhm.
If you're the one constantly giving and constantly putting out to have nothing being given back to you in return, instead of taking and focusing all your time on the negative of the whys and the this and the that and who and what, and I mean, the reality is when you dig deep enough, there's a problem. There's something going on with the other side of the equation, with the other person.
And
And
just
it
let them.
sometimes has
Just let them.
nothing to do with you.
Yep.
It's their own personal decisions. It's their own personal choices. It's their own personal behaviors. They're going through something themselves.
And you don't know what that
And you don't
is.
know what
So
that
you can't
is.
be a judge or anything.
No. So
But
let them
I think
and back away from it
the
mentally.
hardest thing, and I can't speak for men, but I think one of the hardest things for women under this let them theory is to be talked about or gossiped about or that, because I think it's very hard in most cases for us to just say, well, that's their opinion, or if they're talking about me, they're leaving somebody else alone. And that, I mean, I know that's good in theory, but it's hard
To practice,
to practice because you get hurt.
of course.
But the whole thing is let them is not to be hurt by it.
Not to allow yourself to
Not
be
to
hurt.
allow yourself to be consumed by the negativity of other people.
Right.
You know?
It says here too, is letting them really about just letting people reveal their true selves to you.
That's an interesting point.
So, I mean, let them be who they are, let them say what they will, let them do what they will. What is that? Is that them just simply revealing their true selves, who they really are as people? They're just revealing that to you. It could be in a loving relationship. It could be in a friendship. It could be in a business relationship, whatever it is. And then I think really what it is I guess that means that you, by allowing them to show you their us their true selves, that then puts the power to choose how you respond to it
That's it.
back in your hands,
You can't
right?
change
It
other
gives you
people's,
back the control.
right. You can't change other people's actions.
How
The only thing you can do is how you react
how you
to them.
react to it.
And that's what all this let them is allowing you to change your reaction to what you feel is something that you're being hurt, not treated properly,
Left out of.
left out of, talked about.
But again, I think you brought up children, right?
Mhm.
Child doesn't want to go to school. It's not a situation where you let them not go to school. I mean, how far does that go? How far do they push the boundaries? As I said right from the onset, there are boundaries to this whole concept of let them, and it is more of an emotional thing. Now, if the child is, run ragged, sports, extracurriculars, activities, school, homework, blah, 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 and the child has a block of time and you think they should be outside playing and they come to you and they just say, Mom, Dad, I'm really tired. Can I just go lay down and have a nap?
Mhm.
Let them.
Yeah,
Like there are circumstances, right, where you could just let them go and nap or have some downtime or whatever it is that
yeah.
you feel they need. At the same time, you can't just let them skip out of chores. You can't just let them skip out of doing
No, and
homework.
like
You
I
just
said,
can't let them.
it's not a physical thing
It's
that
more of
this
an
theory,
emotional thing.
it's an emotional of how you react to other people not holding up to your expectations.
And I guess I really like stressing that point
Mhm.
because some people think about this concept of just letting them or letting it be and thinking it's more about just, letting people do whatever they want.
No,
And
that's
that's
not.
not what
It's
this
not
is
about
about.
letting other people, it's letting them do what they want. It's how you react to it.
Right.
Let them do what they want. It's got nothing to do with you. If they want to act like that, if they want to be that way, um, let them do that. That's up to them.
But
How
you
you
choose.
react and how you choose to respond to their actions or what they say or don't say or
Right.
do or don't do. And I think that's the important
They
part.
say there's two really important concepts that every successful person in terms of their health, mental health, physical health, emotional health, successful people in general, I think there's two things that they really stress are important. One is the ability to forgive.
Mm-hmm.
The second is the ability to show gratitude, right?
Yeah.
Forgiveness and gratitude. So I know that, when we talk about it's hard, it's difficult, how do we gain control over ourselves, the way we think, our thought processes, how we look at ourselves inwardly, right? There's all kinds of things that people can do, but I like giving people the exercise of two journals, physical journals, like actual pen to paper journals, not digital, not
Ooh, old
right,
school.
old school, baby, pen to paper. And I say two journals. One is a brain dump at the end of every day.
Mm-hmm.
So it's literally a release of all the negativity that you're feeling at that time, at the end of day, prior to going to bed, prior to winding down. Just dump it all out.
Mm-hmm.
Get it on paper, get it out of your head. The second would be to open up that journal of gratitude and start listing off everything that you're grateful for, being mindful and conscious of the little things
Mm-hmm.
that happen day to day that we sometimes overlook or forget to think about.
Do you know what? I've made a conscious effort in the last few months. And I know this is going to sound strange to everyone because when I thought about it, I thought, okay, it's like spitting in the ocean, but it's a start. And I have learned to say thank you when somebody says something to me uh, as a compliment or as an encouragement. And all my life, I haven't necessarily done that.
No.
So when somebody says, "Oh, I like the color of your nail polish,"
I was
I'd
just
say,
going to say your nail polish looks
"Yeah,"
great.
and thank you. But what I would say was, "Oh, I had it done yesterday." I would not acknowledge
The
their
compliment.
compliment. I would say I had it done yesterday, or oh, it's called Devil Wears Prada, or whatever it is, right? I never acknowledged the compliment. So now, um, like I said, and it's very difficult because I find myself um, like stopping. And the
Having to
worst part
think about
is when I look at them and say, thank you, for a split second, they don't know what I'm thanking them for.
it.
So there's that, what? Oh yeah, you're welcome. And then we get on to what we're doing. But it's something that lots of people, if you pay attention, say something nice to you every day. But we're so busy and so in a rush
Yeah,
and just, and if they were to give me back the wrong change, I'd remember that for days afterwards.
right.
So I've tried to acknowledge something when somebody says something, and whether it's, oh, I love the little dogs on your blouse, the print on your blouse or something, I stop and say, oh, thank you.
Right.
Now, do you have, and then go on to something else. So I know it's small and it's
But it's a
insignificant,
big
but
it
it's a big deal when you realize how hard it is to do that.
and it's part of programming.
Yes, it is.
It's part of programming and it's part of conditioning yourself to be more consciously aware of what's going on around you and to
Mhm.
be more accepting of yourself and more accepting of a lot of the love that many of us are shown, but we're too busy to acknowledge it or too busy to understand it or see it.
So at the end of the day, I'm able to remember when I said thank you, and all of a sudden my gratitude at the end of the day
Right? It's
is
for that
enhanced
person.
and it's much greater because I actually acknowledged the fact that somebody was being grateful or being nice to me and I was being grateful. But no, I just think that this theory, we wanted to talk about it tonight because,
That's
like I
everywhere.
said, it's everywhere, and people, especially on social media, are um, lots of times being kind of not nice to something if you say it or you post a picture
Oh yeah.
or you know something
Oh,
like
there's
that.
haters.
There's just so many haters, and most of us try and overcome that hatred by explaining ourselves or say, yeah, but what I meant was, or I
Right.
did that because the last time. We always feel we have to justify, and we're
Yeah.
always trying to look for their, oh, okay, then I'll say something nice about it next time.
And the reality is, when you're focused on kindness, when you're focused on love, when you're focused on trying to achieve the best for yourself, for your family, for your loved ones, then there's no room for negativity. There's no room to get caught up in all of the negativity.
I found this
Yeah, I want to,
about
you've had this here. I want to see
I've
what it
had this
is.
because one of the things on the let them be theory was about people and rumors and gossip and how it hurt a lot, and on social medias and everything else that people are getting hurt and offended, and because we're taking it all personally, and that we should try not to. And there was a person whose name is Nishan Panwar,
Okay.
and they quoted something which I wrote out because I loved it. I said, rumors, or they said, rumors are carried by haters, spread by fools, and accepted by idiots. Now, come on.
Yeah, well, they're not wrong.
No,
I mean, they're not
I read
wrong.
that and
How
thought,
important are rumors?
yes, but I read that and thought, if I can remember that the rumors and that go on and the things that people say, and that look at the type of people they are.
Mhm.
Why am I being hurt by that? You
Well,
know, why am I spending time trying to make these people like me if that's the type of people they are? Just let them talk,
you know,
let them spread, let them do what they want,
I mean,
and love yourself.
love yourself.
Yeah.
Bridgerton is a perfect example. So for all of you Bridgerton fans out there, okay, you got this gossip rag that keeps getting written about all
Oh,
the people in the
yes.
town,
Yeah.
and everybody is so caught up and wrapped up in this gossip that's being written about them that that seems to be their only drive, their only focus, their only purpose in life is to live a certain way based on what's being gossiped about them.
Mhm.
And it's ridiculous. And this is a show that is humorous. It's written and meant to be funny and poignant and
Tongue in cheek
tongue in
and all
cheek
that.
and everything. And so it's not meant to be serious, and it's not meant to be taken seriously. And I think that's really how we all have to start looking at things in our lives, because if your goal is to be healthy in mind, healthy in body, healthy in spirit, it starts with you. It starts immediately with you. How you respond to things, how you react, how you put yourself forth, right? How you hold yourself, in what regard, confidence, esteem.
Yeah.
There's a lot that goes into this, but it really boils back to a lot of self-care and self-love. And it really boils down to practice. This is a practice. This is not something that you should automatically be expected to do. You shouldn't just jump on the let them bandwagon because
And
everybody
say it
else is
once
there,
and
right?
that's done.
Yeah, and just by marking it on yourself or wearing it on a shirt or spewing content that other people have written or that's not what this is about. It really is about starting to look in the mirror and understand that you are important, you are special, you're loved, and that what other people think and how other people behave, if that's them showing you the best version of themselves, let them.
Mhm.
How you choose to respond to it is key.
Absolutely.
And on that note, love to know your thoughts on it. A couple people have already commented or responded. I'd love a lot more comments on it. If you're not familiar with the Let Them movement, like Marilyn said, look it up, Google search it, jump on Pinterest if you have an extra day.
Get a tattoo. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
But in all honesty, yeah, I mean, check it out and give it some thought and let us know. Let us know your opinions. Let us know what
Absolutely.
you think about it. Peace, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Enjoy your
So
night.
that's all the time we have today, but there's still so much more to talk about and learn. Head over to healthexpertscanada.com for more ideas on healthy living, and don't forget to like, download, and share this podcast with your friends, just for the health of it.